Good evening, dear viewer. A happy new month to you. This is the month of July, and I am very excited to be on your screen again today. This month, I'll be bringing women who are doing very excellently well in male-dominated spaces, in business, industries, to talk to us about challenges they've been facing, how they've been able to navigate through, and some other issues in that area. And today, as usual, we'll have someone very special seated with us here in the studio. I'm sure you want to know who that person is. I am your host, as always, Marvelous Apamaga. We'll be right back. With me here in the studio is barrister Adaora Okoye. She's the MD and CEO, Reliance Services and Logistics. You're welcome on the program.
Thank you very much,
How are you doing
Marvelous.
today?
I'm doing very
You look
well.
very beautiful.
Thank you. You too.
I love your earrings.
I love your dress. Thank you so much.
So let's begin with logistics. You have a logistics company and you also, have a cleaning company.
Yes.
So tell me about it. What made you go into logistics, the space that's very much male dominated? What motivated you to go into that space?
The logistics sector, like you said, is male dominated, but we've been able to break that jinx as much as we can. I saw it was a clear vision. I saw a problem in that sector. There was a need for a serious paradigm shift, and when you see a problem and you want to, and you have a solution, and you communicate this solution to the persons who are in the industry, and you don't see any change. No one wants to change from what they practice or from what is obtainable to something better. I decided that it was time for me to be the change that I sought and I thought was important and was needed at the time. And so I started a logistics company. And same thing happened for the cleaning as well. I saw a need for a change, because people see cleaners as, I don't know what they see them as. So when someone says, "What do you do?" and I said, "I'm a cleaner," they are like, "How?" I said, "Yes, that's what I am. I'm a cleaner." You know what I mean? So we needed to change the narrative and then bring some needed change into the industry.
So how's it been since you started? You started in 2021, which means you're 4 years into the business. And like you said, you've not looked back.
No, I have not looked back.
How's
it's been,
it been?
Forward. I'm very happy to mention that I was the person who initiated the formation of a union, because I tried to change the logistics space with the last mile delivery in mind, because that's the most crucial end of the logistics chain. They are the people that the customers mostly interface with. If you're a business, it's very important. It's the customer care in that sector, the lies told in that sector, and the way things were so disorganized was painful to watch. And I'm happy to say that while we were working on our own company to grow it and to exemplify how we think that logistics last mile delivery service should be, we formed a union with myself leading the charge, formed a union that is thriving and very strong now. And now you can say that the sector is no longer the agbero thing. It's no longer, because it used to be like everybody in the logistics seemed to be like an agbero. They saw it. It's actually a semi-formal sector, and it's actually a sector that can be very organized. Like you can be a graduate and be in the logistics sector as a dispatch rider or as an administrative staff. But that wasn't something that people many years ago, like 4 years back, 5 years back, people saw it as a sector that only agberos should go into. But now we've sanitized the space, we've brought some sanity into the industry, and yes, at first it was a bit of a challenge, because every time you want to communicate what you thought was an avenue or an information that would help improve the lot of the sector, or even to control your riders, was hard. So first, when we wanted to form the union, I needed support. You need allies. in order for you to succeed in a male-dominated sector. So I had men, responsible men, who were in the sector, who were willing, who saw reason why there was a need for us to come together and sanitize the logistics space. And with myself being the lone woman in the whole group, we were able to bring other logistics companies together. And I still sit as the chairperson of that union, the board of trustees chairperson of that union, and the first president, no longer the president right now, but I played a significant role in formation of that union. Yes. No, there's something about men. Sometimes it's about the money for them. Okay. The process is not that as important to them, but for women, there's a level of sanity that women want in processes. There's a level of organizational structure that women want in place when they're doing certain things. It's not a gra thing. It's just a thing that you can sit down quietly and calmly. Nobody knew that the logistics sector can be this calm. It used to be crazy. And of course, with the current administration, the new commissioner that we have, His Excellency Dr. Peter Ndubi Simbatu, and all of the things, wonderful things that they are doing, working with us and ensuring that the space is sanitized. Criminality is, almost extinct, a thing of the past. Where it's been great. Having a woman as their chairperson, their first chairperson and their first president, was actually one of the best decisions that they took in that logistics sector.
I agree.
I promise you. I promise you.
Have you ever felt underestimated?
Oh, yes.
You mentioned something that when you got in, it was a bit hard.
Yes, it was.
Was it because you were the woman? So
I think it played, yes, I think so.
To me that way?
Yes, I think so, because the riders would just look at you and feel like, why is this woman talking to me like this? You know what I mean? And then the logistics companies, when we go for meetings, at that time, when you say this, I feel like this is how things should be done. You see somebody, oh, Makane wine, it's because you're a woman. You know what I mean? That's not how you do it. Let's go out, let's go and riot, let's go and do this. I said, no, you can actually write. You can actually write and put down your proposal. You can go for meetings and go for negotiations. You can go, engage them. Use diplomacy instead of using what have you achieved by rioting, those who have rioted, those who have protested, those who have, and a whole lot of things. It was a whole lot of pressure on me. That's because I'm a woman. That's why I do not want, I am against protest and a whole lot of things. It wasn't easy. But now everybody now sees and enjoys the benefit of following things, following due process and they have achieved all of those things that they wanted to achieve through war and all of those terrible things, battle they wanted to put up. They've been able to achieve it with peace and with diplomacy and negotiations.
So what's a typical day like for you?
Well, at first I had a very lean staff. So a typical day would be that I had to support my very lean staff by communicating directly with customers. But right now, a typical day for me would just be going over the system, because we've set up systems in place. We have everybody has responsibilities. We have we have broadened our staff strength and so on and forth. I no longer interface with customers. So what I do, I just go online and then I see what are the activities of every staff, ensuring that the speed with which deliveries are done is a reasonably fast speed, ensuring what their communications through the system we set in place, what ensure that they are communicating with customers the right way. It's funny, but and serious. And because one of my friends had told me, why is it that if you call all the lines, customer care lines in your office, the response is the same? You know what I mean? So we've set up systems in place where if you're communicating with our brand, you're not communicating with any particular individual, you're communicating with the business, and the business has its own language.
More like there's a template.
Exactly. There's a template for communication. There's a template for everything that you do. We have SOPs, we have KPIs, we have policies, and everybody has aligned, with what the business has been able to put in place. So you, as a woman, in any sector you find yourself, you need to first put your emotion aside. You can be a baby girl with your spouse, with your partner.
It's not very easy. It's not
Yeah,
very easy. How are you able
it's
to do that?
doable.
Yeah,
It's
of course
doable.
it is.
Yes, I was able to, like, I took some training, I
Okay.
took some classes, and then I would always take a moment and just ask myself, and because I now have a policy document, so it's no longer about how I feel about anybody. It's about that this person has done this and the policy document says this, and it is my duty to protect the business, my duty to protect the policies of the business. So for people to take the policies, the business seriously, you yourself have to take the business seriously. So you have to apply the policies of the business, however, regardless of how you feel. You know what I mean? Regardless of how you feel. So, and then again, you take responsibility for when you falter. Let me go back to talking about women in mixing emotions with
Work.
business. You know, yes, we're humans, we have emotions. Now, you do something wrong, you don't want to take responsibility, you want to get away with it because you are a woman. You want something, you want to apply for something, you're not qualified for it, but you feel like you should get it because you're a woman. How do you want serious people to take you seriously? Maybe unserious people can take you seriously, but serious people will not take you seriously. If you want people to take you seriously, you need to take yourself seriously, which is what you develop yourself and ensure that you consistently produce excellence in your service delivery. Before long, people would notice that, oh, it could be that 9 men have been doing this business, but this woman has come and set another standard. You know what I mean? You improve on what is obtainable. You set yourself out and carve a niche for yourself. You wanted to hear that. And carve a niche for yourself. And then you see that, you would definitely thrive, regardless of gender.
Talking about age, barrister. I mean, I'll ask you a question on it. We'll
Yeah,
have to
go.
go on this quick break, and when we come back, we'll hear more from barrister Adaora. Just stay with us. You're still watching Women in Business right here on Afia TV, and we still have barrister Adaora with us here, who has been spilling the tea in the cup. So you mentioned niching down, and yeah, I had a woman here the other time. I don't want to mention her name, and she said she doesn't believe in niching down, and that's a business advice that is very much overrated. So, do you agree to that? What's your take on that? I'd love to hear your opinion.
I think it's a matter of perspective, but for me, I would say that carving a niche for yourself, particularly in the industry where I belong, is very crucial. The logistics sector is already saturated with people who lack integrity. It's saturated with people who say A, but they don't do A, they do B instead. So I've carved a niche for myself in the sense that I have clad the business with integrity. What you hear is what you get. What you see is what you get. There are no lies, there are no false promises. We give you information as it ought to be. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. When can we expect my package? Your package will be delivered tomorrow by 7 a.m. And we'll do everything humanly possible to deliver your package at 7 a.m. And in any case, if we're unable to deliver that package, we will communicate to you beforehand to let you know that we'll be unable to meet up at 7 a.m., but we would be able to come at XYZ time. It is also not, we've also been able to bring riders who are responsible. If you go to even up till date, the problem that most logistics companies have is the problem of riders. You would hear, our rider did this, our rider pilfered this, but we consistently give training to our riders, and we have even renamed them from riders. We call them our men of honor. You see, we have been able to understand that these riders should be like our team members. They are not the enemy. People see riders a certain way, but these are my family. These are people I'm making money with. Therefore, they deserve a place on my, at my table. So they are my friends. They are my business partners. I'm working with them. I have to have a good relationship with them and not treat them like they are enemies. I believe that it's so we call them men of honor, we train them, and we don't hear all of those lies have been greatly mitigated. So about niches, you can carve a niche for yourself in your industry. You can be known for something. You can provide something that will be hard for others, or that other people may not even be able to provide. And what we've been able to provide is integrity. We've been able to provide reliability. And then I believe that we are probably the company that delivers the fastest in Enugu as of today.
She says she believes niching down puts you in a box, and I kind of agree with her because you see small business owners coming out, content creators saying they want to carve a niche. I was having a discussion with my friend the other day, and I said, how would you know this is your niche when you've not tried other things? You could be known for three things. You could be known for three things at most.
Yeah.
Because if it's more than three things, I mean, you're confused. You could be known for three things. So why want to drop the other two that could fetch you money as well, and then just focus on one?
I think that's why I said that it's a matter of perspective.
Okay.
The fact that you've carved a niche for yourself does not mean that you cannot explore other things. For instance, we offer logistics service, we offer professional cleaning service, we also offer car rental service, and just a bit of event management, but for corporate bodies only. For instance, we provided service to the Central Bank of Nigeria in 20-something states. These are these are just things that you do too, but it does not stop you from separating yourself, doing something that others are not doing. Does not limit you in any way, and also does not mean that you can't do other things. You get what I mean? So you can still carve a niche for yourself in a particular place and still do something else, but at all times distinguish yourself from the crowd. Distinguishing yourself from the crowd is what would make you more visible, more noticeable, and so on and forth. So I don't believe that carving a niche for yourself is limiting. I believe that carving a niche for yourself is making you significant and integral, like you would be more noticeable, more visible, and then of course more successful than the rest.
Okay, so let's talk about collaboration.
Yes.
How has it been, in this part of the country? I've heard people say big brands do not often, collaborate with small brands. So how's collaboration been in this part of the industry, especially when it's a female in a male-dominated industry?
Yeah, that's another thing that people need to be more open to. People are always very laid back and very they withhold themselves from collaborating with people they're in the same industry as. Collaboration, I always preach, is better than competition. Like together, if you come together with people, you do the same business. It's not, of course, before you go into business with anyone, whether they're in the same industry or outside your industry, you have to make sure, look at the person's character. You go into business with people based on their character. You can't go into business with someone who has a character or a who is likely to who lacks integrity. Of course, you need to go into collaboration with people who have integrity, people who know what they are doing, people who, they say, follow who know road. Like, you can't collaborate with nonsense and expect something nice, something that has sense to come out of it. So I believe that collaborations are underrated, and people do not really like to, they prefer to have the the competition and all of those things. But when you collaborate with business, which is what this union has done, having to come together, all of us, and speaking with one voice has amplified our voice, and then we have been heard, and then all of those things that we've been asking individually from government, from agencies, from every other sector, we've been able to achieve them by coming together, collaborating on that one mission. So I think businesses should be open to collaborations. It helps them to grow better. But like you said, it's kind of a challenge for big brands to collaborate with smaller brands, and I have no idea why big brands feel that way. I've collaborated with a few big brands. They didn't have any problem with me collaborating with them. But then again, I also placed myself in a place where I felt I was positioned for it. You also need to be prepared as a small brand. You need to show cause why a big brand should want to collaborate with you. So we've collaborated with big brands, and it went well. It worked out very well. Yes.
Yeah. So this issue of the male industry being women refusing to go into the male industry is something that has been a very big topic for a long time. Women have ideas. Of course, I've heard some saying they want to go into this industry, even though it's male dominated. And then after a few months, you see them withdraw and, look for something else to do. What would you say is the problem?
I think the problem is a problem of unpreparedness.
Okay.
Yes, I feel that they go into the industry not prepared. Before you go into any business, you need to study the business. When I mean study it, I mean study everything about it, including the challenges you're likely to face, and then you're able to bring out mitigating factors, how you would be able to surmount those challenges when they come when you are faced with them. And then I also feel people are not they're not built for consistency. Some women are not built for consistency. I've seen many great women, wonderful business women around. So, but then, a majority of us are not built for the challenges and for consistency. When they're faced with something, with, just a little challenge, they want to step back, they want to run away from it, and then they get into something else, and then that thing has problem. Most of them, they want to cook. They just want to go and start catering business.
Exactly.
With due respect to caterers who do very wonderful jobs, I respect you all, but they want it easy. You know what I mean? It's not like catering is easy or anything, but I'm just saying that there's this challenge and exertion. Yes,
yeah.
yes, there's this challenge that comes with the logistics sector that women, and you don't have to act like a man to be able to get it right in a male-dominated sector. You can just bring in your feminine energy still with as much experience and intelligence and ideas that would, help the industry. And then you just find you need to also consistently stay the course, because if you don't stay the course, you just end up, you don't know what's going to happen on the other end. So you need to be consistent, stay on. Despite the challenges, you just find there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Before I let you go,
Yeah,
we need to get more women into the space,
okay,
and make them see reasons why they should be prepared, like you said, for whatever they encounter in this, because you're going against the other gender, and we know how it is like.
Yeah.
So what should we do to bring more women into not just the logistics industry, male-dominated industry? Because these men are already going into. You see men are hairstylists, men are fashion designers.
Exactly.
There's nothing like exactly. Even the media space, they said, is dominated by women.
Yes.
We still have men there
doing very well.
Exactly,
too.
doing very well. And I'm not sure they have these challenges women face anytime they want to go into male industries. So what should be done? What should we do differently?
I think that first and foremost, we need to stop. We need to pretend like we do not know that there's a gender bias and just focus on developing ourselves and dishing out, like I said, excellent service. You know what I mean? I think we need to just ignore that, because the longer you ignore something, sometimes there are times when you ignore things, they become, because we talk about it so much, it's as though we want it handed to us on a platter of gold. So I think it's time for us to look inwards. It's time for us to actually develop ourselves from the inside, so that we're delivering excellent service. We're doing things as we ought to, doing things right, and I believe that there is no one, if you're delivering excellent service. I wrote something a while back, and I said that if you're qualified for a job, more qualified than your male counterpart, and you apply for a job, and the company says that they would not employ you because of your gender, you're better off not working with a company like that. It's their loss, not yours. You're the one who is qualified. You're the one who has all of the skills to deliver excellence to them. And then they don't take you. Who's losing? It's not you. It's them. Because they are actually, in today's world, there are actually companies who are looking for talent and skill. They're not looking for your gender. They're looking for your talent and your skill. So you go to those companies, you apply to those companies, and when they see your talent and your skill, you would find that you'll be accepted and promoted, and you will enjoy your work environment. I do not. I think it's a loss for anyone who is still looking at women and like she's a woman, underrating a woman. She's a woman. She belongs to the kitchen and stuff like that. I think it's really their loss. You know what I mean? It's really their loss. So what you owe yourself, what you owe the society, is to develop yourself with skills, with talent, and then when you step out, people will be scrambling to have you on their team.
Barrister, I love how you've carved a niche for yourself, and you're doing it on your own terms. Well done.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining
I
us.
appreciate that.
Thank you. And that's all on Women in Business, this episode of Women in Business. I'm sure you've had a wonderful time as much as I have. I had a very rich conversation with Barrister here. And yeah, that's all for today. We'd have to go. Till I see you next time, my name is Marvelous Akwamaga. And if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. All you have to do is type www.youtube.com/@Afia Business Do well to like and subscribe. And as well, leave a comment. See you next time.